I love Denver. I'm from Phoenix, okay? And I love flying in and staying in downtown. I don't know what that is. I think it's the food, but I love Denver, so coming out here is just a blessing for me. Yes, I've gotten to meet some of you. I'm going to clean up a little bit on what came up on the screen about me. I was a technician first back in the 80s when PC boards didn't exist. Everything was switches and easy to figure out. Then the PC boards came out and I went, I better do something else. So you could call me a parts changer for all intents and purposes. Over the years, being in this industry, my whole career, I've learned a boatload about all kinds of technology because I'm a junkie on technology. So all that being said, turning a wrench, technicians love hearing that I turned a wrench and I can speak their language, not just some guy that comes in and makes changes. I speak in benefits to technicians. Whenever I do talk to a technician, you can earn your family more money and reach your dreams easier if we show you these tools. So that's how I speak to technicians. How I speak to managers, when the company's profitable, they can share the wealth. When they're not profitable, they can't share the wealth. Plain and simple. So you're going to hear me be really straightforward. And I was in a contractors yesterday, and I just speak straightforward. They challenge me back, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So what we're going to do today is cover all of the different aspects. But here's what you need to know. A P&L tells a story. And over time, a P&L in its story gets interpreted. One of the things that I had to do while I was at the Dwyer Group, you know it here as AirServe or Mr. Rooter, Mr. Electric. When I was there, I would onboard the new franchisees, and I'd have to map where they are, where they need to go, and they need to get there in 6 months. And so I could see their progress and monitor their progress through the process. And what a joy it was to see them hit at 6 months, 15 and 20% profit. So taking that knowledge, I can now read a P&L, and it tells me a story over the last 12 months that I ask very targeted questions when I work with you. And then we drill in even farther with solutions. So it's a total joy to work with contractors. And yes, I retired back in 2000. And I was bored out of my skull at 40 years old. I know you're doing the math, thanks. I earned this, okay? But let's learn about you and what you want to get out of today. Overwhelmingly, finding good help. Everybody agree with that? Okay. Guess what? It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. The trades as a whole is going to get worse. And everybody's predicting it. It's just not me putting it out there. It's all over the place. So you only have one choice. You need to attract good people. You need to attract them. It's a different mentality. If you have a great work environment and a place somebody wants to work, they'll find you. They'll find you. So it has to do with culture. It goes right back to culture. Here's what I've learned about working with the Comfort Air folks. They're all about culture. We only partner with companies that are about culture. Okay, so we won't take on those guys that really want to crash into someone's house, sell them the moon, and get out. Okay, we don't work with those kind of people. We're relationship builders. So we want to be with relationship builders, and guess what? This is the first wholesaler I've ever seen across America that actually cares about their contractors to the point almost to a fault. And I am honored actually to work with these folks. So in our relationship, we've agreed that I wouldn't work with any other contractor other than the Rheem Team Group here in Colorado. So when you see what you're going to see here in a few minutes, keep that in the back of your mind that your competitors can't get in. All right? Very, very important. I've got a couple of generic ones, and I'm going to call them out and let your TM know at the break what you meant by this, because we want this to be generic. You know, the people sitting next to you, you can call them competitors, but when you see a video a little later, you're actually all together combined a very small piece of the whole Colorado market. Okay? And working together is really, really important. Sure, why not? Jalen? That's an IT thing. Okay. We might need Kurt to come out. So I'm just going to keep moving. This one here is building processes. You know, I'm a strong believer in building processes in a business, right down to how you hire. And if I have time this afternoon, I'll go ahead and the right way to hire. And I'll give you the little piece of this process. When we hire somebody, we turn the table, okay? We don't say, let's look at your application and see if you fit in our business. We say, we're going to show you our business, and you tell me if you fit, okay? So we actually turn the table. You interview us first. And it's a really good way to smoke out the jokers. The next step is not to hire them today. Make them come back in a couple of days. And if they don't like what they see, they won't come back, which is a good thing, okay? So I'll tease you with that later. Building processes. So if you could be more specific, tell your TM. What I'm looking for is, in building processes, is be more specific, because there's tons of processes in the business that that's one of the hiring processes. Another process is finding good people or attracting good people. Another process is marketing. Another process is complaints. How do I process a complaint? So there's tons of processes. If you could be more specific as to what you need, I would like that. I'm going to hit a lot of processes, and that's good. Finding qualified technicians, keeping up with code changes. I can't do anything for code changes. Maybe Jalen can. What's really cool about this is in getting to know you, I have about 5 of these that say, how do I retire? How do I retire? This is going to be fun. I've got a police officer in the room. I got to guess on that one who that is, who I need to be staying away from. Creating manageable growth. Ooh, I like that one a lot. Finding good help. Told you that was extremely popular. Employees and time. You know, one of the things that keep you up at night is worrying about making payroll. Anybody ever have that problem? Nobody? Absolutely. And I'm going to show you why that happens. And that's what's important. We got to learn from this. We got to learn why that happens, so we can prevent it. That's the whole point. Knowledgeable techs. Good luck. Played in a gig with somebody in a band. Sorry. I'm a technician too. I can't read my own writing. Fear of rejection, organization. Who said it best? Somebody said it back there. I don't have fear of rejection. I get it all the time. Finding employees. Wow. Handling the workload, unskilled workers. Told you there's a lot of this here, so it's not uncommon. So I'm going to explain the Profit Journey program. The Profit Journey program is designed to meet all of your needs in business. We have sales trainers, we have CSR trainers, we have all of the tools that you could possibly need. There isn't a tool we don't have. Coupled with Comfort Air, you have somebody here that does marketing. You have business savvy TMs, which by the way is uncommon. And with this organization, I'm feeling like we can't lose if we're working together. So one of those things is I know software is upside down and backwards. I'm techie, okay? And if there's a software you have a question about, I can compare and contrast many different softwares. We also have a QuickBooks expert on staff that any QuickBooks challenges, you want it to do something, we can make that happen. So basically any challenge you have, we can get through. What is the most effective way to pay my technician? Pay performance. I'm going to hit that one. How much revenue should fuel cost? I wish I knew who asked that question. This is one of my pet peeves, okay? Accountants like to put fuel below the line and in expenses. I put it above the line in cost of goods. The more you drive, the more calls you do, the more fuel you spend. But I use it for a second reason. I want to know if you're priced right in the market. So I'm going to throw you a teaser. If you're over 4% of fuel in the field, you're either not priced right or somebody's stealing gas. That's it. Okay? How much revenue? Oh, I hit that one. How do I price myself in the market? How appropriate? A couple ones later. Find quality labor. I'm telling you, it's overwhelmingly how do I find. I'm going to hit it hard today on how to attract good people. Is that all right with you?
Sure.
Okay. How do I compete with low-cost, low-bid competitors? That's a fun one. Price shoppers, look at that. How can I better convert on the calls on the phone? So, price shopper over the phone price. That's a fun one. A little bit more in my history. When I was a 1-hour Ben Franklin in Phoenix, Arizona, I built a small call center, 12 CSRs that we tracked their call to close ratio. And we also booked calls for other companies, one in Colorado, across the US. And what we noticed was we doubled their business by closing twice as much. And it was a blast to do for them. On the other hand, I overwhelmed them with booking them out 2 weeks. So that's a really good problem to have. But anybody onboarded after that, I warn them ahead of time, have a truck ready and somebody ready to get in the truck. Because it's pretty scary getting out a week and a half, they start calling your competitors. But we have a killer script today. That call center is 300 seats using our script. And they do it nationally for 1 hour in Ben Franklin. So we have a killer script. We also have a company in Illinois that if you have a problem on your phones, like you feel held hostage by this person, we can also put your phones over there, and then you don't have to feel held hostage anymore. They'll book for you, and they'll even dispatch your texts. And they use my scripts. So if you have a problem like that in your office, feeling held hostage, we have that. Most every product I sell now is available in retail. What should I do? Oh, good one. Quality phone script. I wish I could go to Indiana more. Okay. Not going to address it. Actually, my girlfriend and I, we bet every year on who's going to win the Super Bowl before the season starts. And it's usually a pretty big bet, like a trip somewhere. Okay, who's going to pay for it? And this year, we did. I took the Colts to win the Super Bowl. And she looked at me like I was crazy. Now, I know where I am. I'm in Denver. Last year, I took the Broncos. Broke my heart. Okay? I'm not bailing. That isn't the point. Okay? I love the Broncos. I also chose Seattle. So I kind of got two of them going, and hopefully one of them hits it. But I love the Broncos ever since Elway. So since I was little. He's old now, right? As you watch him, as they show the general manager, John Elway, in the snapshots, don't you go, oh my gosh, he's gotten old? Finding good employees. Here's somebody who has, in this room, firewalked. Now, I don't know about you, but running a business could be considered harder. That's instantaneous. Get to the other side, I think. I've never done it. I don't know. But we have a fire walker in the room. And mountain biking is really popular here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and find the right attitude in people. Capital investment, quality employees. I saw capital investment twice in here. I'm going to cover the profit and loss and the balance sheet and the relationship between the two, just so we all kind of get on the same page. If I don't answer your question, let your TM know, and I'll make sure to clean that up. Capital investment. Typically, you make an investment with the expectation of return. Am I wrong? Right? So you invest in your business, I expect a return. Use this same capital investment term when you invest in employees. I expect a return. If you send them to training and you don't expect them to perform at a different level, shame on you. Okay? So we set the stage up front with capital investment being we invest in employees, we invest in tools, and we have an expectation of return. So when we purchase something, we actually set that expectation up front. I'll give you an example. Guys are saying, I want an iPad, right? I want a mobile device. Okay, what can I expect in return? How does this help you do it faster, more efficient, sell more? Sell me on it, okay? Ask the question whenever they ask for a widget. You know, when we used to have Schrader, when we used to have to change Schrader valves, we gave the customer a choice before we had a tool. I can let the refrigerant out, you can buy 7 pounds, I'll put the new one back in, and we're on our way, and it's $250. We have a Schrader tool now. How does that make me more money? Doesn't. Saves time, doesn't make me more money. So, again, I want a Schrader tool. No, that's the last thing going on your truck. You can't sell me on it. Yeah, as a technician, you go, hey, that's what I want. I can do my job faster and easier. How does that benefit the company? You have to challenge this, okay? Yes, sir.
We're all
Mike?
about benefiting the customer.
It benefits the customer, right?
We're all about that.
Yeah.
We're serving the customer.
Absolutely, and we're a servant mentality. Oh, go ahead.
Did everybody hear that?
We're serving the customer. Yes, if we can introduce new technology to save them money, we're their hero, right? But do we tell them about it? Do we tell them about it? Do we actually show value? No, we just go in there and do it. We got to show value. And that's a great story to use, by the way. You know, it used to be we did it this way. Now we have to do it this way. And it's an awesome value builder. Technology is very important, especially on one of these about building value. When you're building value, it has to do with educating the customer all the way. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to, this is a fire hose of information. You all should have a book. And any expectations you have today is on the front cover. And go ahead and write, you're taking this home and to your business. And write your expectations down here. And you'll even add more expectations as the day progresses. I might hit a nerve somewhere. And at the very end, I'm going to go ahead and make sure we wrap up. You're going to come back to this page and make sure that we hit everything that you need. All right. So I'm really excited to be here. This is a very exciting time for you. I was at a conference with an economist from Cox Cable about a year ago, and they told us what's going on in the economy because they get paid by feet of wire they bury. This is their measuring stick, their key performance indicators, feet that they bury. What is really exciting about all of these things is they fly their own airplane. Somebody's flying that airplane. They have a lot of passengers. And I don't know if you know about this Airbus, but there's very few of these planes that can actually land in America because our strips aren't long enough to land and aren't long enough to take off. This Airbus, this is not the one with the battery problem, by the way. This one can actually take 853 passengers. It is a monster, okay? And you can see the people underneath, how small they really are compared to the size of this plane. There's 22 crew members and 4 people in the cockpit. And I'm bringing this up to you because there's 4 people in the cockpit, okay, for 800 plus people. 4 people flying that plane. Now, if you equated this to our industry, I use a number that is called 1 to 3. For every one person in the office, there should be 3 in the field. And if you use that number for your business, you're going to find out if you're top heavy or not. Pretty cool number. 5 years ago, we deployed technology, and we were 5 to 1 in the office, 5 to 1. And using this technology made us extremely efficient. So if you can imagine doing $7.4 million with 3 people in the office, we were flying an Airbus. It was awesome, awesome. And what a ride. What a ride to be at 20%, 22% profit. Now, we sold in the end of 2008, okay? And then the recession hit. Well, I felt terrible about the recession, so I kind of just stuck around. Yeah, we made some money, 5 times earnings. But the whole point to that whole program was to make sure that our predecessor actually succeeded. So while the whole rest of the industry took about a 25% hit, 30% hit in revenue, we took a 10% hit. Here's why. We had 3,500 members. We lost 400 members. They stayed with us. It was awesome. We had that revenue constantly coming in. Did I lose 1 technician? Yeah. I lost 1. I didn't have to do a big layoff. I didn't have to do all this stuff. But the whole point is to learn from our recession and make it even better. Here's why. If this pilot of this plane took off from Phoenix and his intention was to go to Portland, if he's 1 degree off, he's going to land in Seattle. 1 degree. Now, if your business is 1 degree off, you might go, oh, hiccup. But if you're in a plane and you're dressed for the Bahamas and you land in Alaska, shame on that pilot, right? So who wants to be on your Airbus? You're the pilot of your plane. Are you taking it exactly where you want to go? So you have to communicate, and you'll see this later, you're going to need to communicate to your team what it is. One of those cards mentioned about going on a mission trip. They're learning Spanish now to go on a mission trip. That is intentional. Intentionally profit means I have a plan and I'm going to do the flight. So when a plane leaves the ground, anywhere in the world, it has some place to land. So I'm going to use this often throughout today to say, what have you done for your business to be intentionally profitable? Here's why. If you're not intentionally profitable, you're going to get surprised with some pain. It's just the way it is. You get surprised. If you're intentional and all the rest of the team is on board with you, anybody read Good to Great? Getting the right people on the bus? You got to communicate to those people, okay, and let them know, hey, we're all on the same bus. And I'll never forget as a school child, I'm not a troublemaker really. As a school child, riding on the school bus, and there was this one turn that was banked just right. All of us kids moved to one side of the bus and got that bus on 2 wheels. It was sick. Scared the crap out of all of us. When you're looking out the window and see the ground, it ain't pretty. And I mean, we all came away from there terrified. Now, if that bus driver had communicated with us, fasten your seatbelt, hold on, enjoy the ride, that wouldn't have happened. So anyway, we never did that again. It scared us too much to ever want to cause any more trouble. But we did go to the principal's office. So if you're way off, if you're 3 degrees off, in 10 minutes you're 5 miles off, and it happens with our business. Now, we might want to blame seasonality, okay? Like Jalen has shared with me, the last 2 seasons didn't exist. And what do you do when the season doesn't exist? What's your plan B, your plan C? So we're going to cover that in the marketing segment. But here's the thing. We've got to start with the end in mind. If I know I want to do a missions project in Egypt, I've got to prepare my business for that. Okay? I've got to prepare it so it can run without me. Here's the minimum standard. 5 technicians, 2 in the office. Minimum standard for being able to do something like that. Let someone else run it. 5 technicians. That's 2 installers, 1 install a day. That's 15% profitable, and you can leave for 30 days. What do you think? Okay. If you're not there yet, that's fine. Let's get there. We have marketing support to take care of that. Big, hairy, audacious goal. That's your BHAG. Who do you have in your cockpit? You might say, I trust these people. The problem with that is you can't trust anybody. Okay? And yes, it can even be family that you don't need to trust. Everybody needs to be held accountable, including me in my family. I have my kids telling me all the time, holding me accountable, what I need to do. I'm sure you don't have any of those. The exciting part about being held accountable in the cockpit of your plane is you have someone on the ground looking out for you. And that is the crew here with Comfort Air, and now supported by our team. So the whole point to this whole thing is who's in your cockpit. Your navigator, and by the way, that's on this next page. You're the captain of your ship, of your airplane, and you have a co-pilot, someone who you trust. Here's the really big trust question. Are they helping you at 20% profit? Or are they hurting you at 10? Most companies across the U.S. are at 4 to 7% profit, and it makes me sick because somebody is not helping them reach their goals, reach you, the owners, the goals. Here's why. If you don't know what happened yesterday in your business, you can't fix it today, and it's typically 45 days later, accountant is telling you something's wrong with your business. Anybody ever had that happen? Yeah. And you know why? Because accountants don't know your business either. Okay? My accountant told me to sell more. True story. Time for a new accountant. You need to know my business better. So, accountants don't like me. All right? I'm going to tell you right up front, if you introduce me to your accountant, they don't like me because I know how to do accounting very, very well. And when I tell them what the percentages should be, it's their job to keep you alert at what they need to be. Give you another one. 20% of the revenue generated by a technician is what you should pay him. What you should pay him. 20%. And that's a field technician. What's really cool about knowing that number, it has something called the factor of 5. Factor of 5. If I pay you $20 an hour, I should expect $100 an hour times 5. If you're not doing that, it's my fault. I need to train you. I'm the owner. I'm going to train you to exceed $20 an hour. If you choose not to do better than $20 an hour, that's okay. I'm sure there's another company that would like that. Okay? I'm going to do you a favor. Now, that sounds harsh, right? If you have that conversation when you hire them, guess what? They know what the expectation is up front. Okay? So, your value to me is, that's one of the values. There's 4 values in a technician, so that's one of them. The money you generate. Who does not do marketing in your company? We're under marketing company section. Who doesn't do marketing in your company? No answers? Who doesn't do it?
The dog.
Dog. Actually, if you look at some of the ads, there's dogs in some of those ads. You know, it's usually IAQ ads, right? Next, who doesn't do marketing in your company? Sales. Wearing a shirt with your name on it. Answering the phone. 100% of the people in your company do marketing in your company. Agreed? 100% do marketing, yes? Okay, I need that commitment, and here's why. When they're cutting people off in traffic, oh, your traffic, hello? When they're cutting people off, they're advertising for you. Exactly. I love those calls, right? So that's called a customer complaint. A customer complaint call is usually an opportunity because they've been marketing. They've been marketing for you. They know your name. They even dialed your phone number. Right? So here's how you handle that complaint. Thank you. I really appreciate your calling me. We will absolutely deal with that. He is in so much trouble. I am so sorry that happened. I'm going to make you a member for a year where you get discounted prices. Save us in your speed dial.